She's gonna get 1,000,000 views tonight, and I'm gonna get nothing?
The dog culture?
No. I'm not letting that happen.
It's going to be hard to talk about this movie because there's so many things I want to say, and hopefully it'll give it justice. This movie isn't really one thing. It's not really a horror film. It's not primarily a comedy. It's not a thriller. It's a little bit of everything, and that's what made it so difficult for me. It's making me so difficult to talk about because I don't know how to describe it really. But pretty much the trailer really kind of shows what this movie's about. It's a guy who's an influencer and he wants to get views and stuff. So then he goes on a murdering spree and to get followers and to, get all that stuff. So the main character, I guess I'll just explain what I liked about it and what I did not like about it. So starting with the things I did like about it, I think the idea is a good story to make a movie out of. I liked how they filmed with all the GoPro cameras. I thought that was really cool. And then there's the screens with the cell phones also. I really like how they utilized it. It looks like the production team behind this, and maybe even the writers too, writer and director, and it looks like they really looked into streaming culture like Twitch, YouTube, and things like that when it came to the design and style. I think they did a great job with all of that. There's a lot of stunts in this movie, a lot of action, things that happen, surprises, and those are well done too. I think for the most part, there's a few moments where I was like, oh, really? But for the most part, I think they did a pretty good job on the production side of things. Those are the main things and the acting was really good. I thought all the actors were really good, especially the main star, Joe Keery. I think he did a really good job. Playing someone completely different than his Stranger Things character. And I do kind of like the story as from beginning to end, where like, what is this movie for? What is it about? What is it trying to say about streaming culture? I think it's trying to show that there's a community of people who watch a streamer and they just want violence and they just want destruction. Like, they want to see that happen. And if someone believes that's what they should do for views, then they'll do it, not even thinking about the morality of murder or the consequences of, destroying somebody else's life or the violence and all that stuff. Which kind of leads me into the things I didn't really like about it. I think maybe early on or midway through the film, the main character kills somebody while he's live streaming, and he complains after that he murdered someone that not a lot of people are watching still. Like, he only had one other viewer, and it was another influencer that he really liked and that he's friends with. And to me, if somebody killed someone, this is where it kind of lost the reality aspect of it, and maybe it was on purpose. I don't know. But if you murder someone on stream, that's really bad, and it's so terrible of a thing that even if there was one person watching, they would share that information with someone else. Like, that's something that would go viral for sure. Even as a live stream kind of thing. And there's history of news events where that's happened and it's gone viral. So I think for the movie, they made it like he wasn't getting followers even at that point. And it wasn't until, spoiler alert, it wasn't until he murdered his friend who was a big influencer that the news started to get out, and it wasn't also until the incident with the police officer and the young woman with the gun, that's when he also kind of got more news coverage. So I think to me, the news coverage part or the viewership part was a little slow. I think what they should have done is really waited till the end of the movie to have him go on this really big killing spree. Instead, they kind of dropped it in there leading up to the end. But that's another thing. Some of these murders, they come off almost as like kind of funny because they're a little, it's almost like Final Destination in a way, like kind of outrageous. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's not, it just doesn't seem like 100% real. I think it's like it's still in this bubble of like being a film and a movie, but then again, it's supposed to be like that because he's live streaming and the cinematography looks like a live stream. So there's moments with the water. I thought that was funny how he did that. It's kind of weird. But the character he plays, Kurt, is kind of goofy. Like he's not really evil, but he's kind of like just trying to have fun. It's almost like he's oblivious to the darkness that he's involved in, which is kind of a funny way. I mean, I thought that was kind of a good idea to do a character like that, but it's something uneasy. I don't know. At the end of the movie, I felt like this is kind of a strange movie to make, especially when you have real events like this happening and that aren't as fun or entertaining to watch. They're more gruesome, maybe something you find on the dark web or something, you know? So yeah, so some of the, like the murders in the story, I felt like were a little too exaggerated in a way where it's like, oh, it's not a big deal because he doesn't have viewers. I thought that was kind of like, no, it is a big deal, and he would get viewers a lot quicker. Also, like I kind of wish the main character Kurt would have realized like this is like I'm doing something really bad here. He doesn't really. He kind of like looks at murdering as like it's an easy thing. It's like stepping on a bug almost. Like I think he a little bit too much. Maybe it's just because he's so psychologically geared towards viewers and online streaming and stuff like that. It's a very extreme characteristic the Kurt character has. That made it kind of unbelievable too, how someone could be that deranged. But the idea, again, the story idea, I think the message that I got from this overall as a movie is it's dangerous to be somebody looking for views and to sell yourself and do anything to get people to watch. Like make friends with somebody and then destroy their life, steal their phone, be like really outrageous, you know, like put some drugs in some water and make people go to sleep or run people over in your car. Like it's very insane. There are some people out like that, not to that degree. Maybe there are some people to that degree, but for the most part, streamers kind of put on a persona, put on like a character on the camera. That's the kind of fakeness generally that happens on streamers. So this kind of just takes it to the next level. I think they just want to have a fun kind of comedy, scary movie set in this streamer culture. The marketing's really smart because it's all on social media. And it's like, oh, you can actually find his Instagram page, Kurt, and he's got like the lessons and all that stuff, things like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It could have been. I mean, I think if some parts of the movie were more serious, it could have been a darker movie. that maybe had more of a compelling message in a way. But there were just, I mean, a few things, like the car going through the house. I did like the whole storyline with the comedian, though. And the comedian, her interactions and stuff. There was a lot of stuff about social media and just how us as a society at this point, how we deal with it, and like how we value ourselves based on what strangers are looking at, you know? So there's a lot of like small like moments in the movie where you kind of can reflect on yourself and say, wow, maybe my attention to Instagram is a little unhealthy. To review this movie, it's really hard because there's parts of it I don't like, and there's parts of it I do like, but there's some things about this movie, it's hard for me. I don't even know if I can talk about it. I just saw this just yesterday, so I might need more time to think about it, but this is just kind of my first reaction, getting it out off my chest. It was captivating, but it's a disturbing story. I don't know if I would recommend it to anybody. I mean, people are really into streaming and stuff like that, I think they would understand, but I don't know if the general audience, I don't know who the audience is exactly for this. I'm guessing people who are addicted to streaming on Twitch and other platforms would really enjoy this movie. But it's a scare. It's pretty good. I mean, I really like the production value, really good use of the GoPros. Overall score for me on this, man, it's going to be, I don't know. I want to give it, I'll give it a 7.0 out of 10. It's a 7. I mean, that's a solid score. I was thinking about maybe getting it at like a 6.5. Just because I just think there's some improvements that could have been made to make this more realistic, you know? I mean, if they could have left all the madness towards the end and then the police would really rush to find him, it kind of just hurts me to see the character get away with so much stuff and not get caught until very... Well, actually, he doesn't. I mean, spoiler alert. There are spoilers in this review. He dies at the end, so he doesn't really get captured. It just like goes downhill really quickly for his character. I mean, I wish there was something about like the police finding him and then news reports getting out and then people reacting to those news reports, but it was definitely a certain style they were going for, and it was unique. It's a unique movie, one of the most original movies that I've seen this year. So, hats off to that. And there you go. That's my review. Thank you.